Oh, hey there. It's your boy Jan, back at it again with another board review. You know me, what can I say? Chairman of the board, gotta hit y'all with another review. This time it's the CAPiTA. Just fucking kidding. This time it's the Salomon. God fucking damn it. This time it's the Salomon Villain. I thought, no better time than when I came home to Minnesota to give you guys a board review. Snowboard this time, not a surfboard, snowboard. Hey, I thought when I was back in Minnesota, I transferred from my surfboard reviews, moved back over to the snowboard reviews, and bang bang boogie, here we are. So guys, I'm gonna give you just two scenarios that you'd be riding a snowboard. The first scenario is gonna be park, and the second scenario is going to be powder. Very simple. Let's start with the park. And also, when I say park, I also am in reference to piste. Any scenario when you're riding down a mountain and you're not in powder. So this board is absolutely phenomenal for the park. It's a camber shape, so it's a camber, it's not a rocker. So that means that it's shaped like this. When you step on it, it flattens. And then when you go off a jump, it gives you more pop because of the shape of the wood on the inside of the board. So it's amazing for jumps. You get an extra foot of pop every time, whether you're hitting a rail or a jump. So it's gonna make that ollie or that nollie that much easier. It's gonna give you a little bit of style. It's gonna hold tight and really grip on the landing. If you're throwing a front three or even a freaking rodeo 5 and you might land a little off-centered, well, because of the design of this board, when you can trust it on the landing. When you land, it's gonna hold tight, it's gonna dig in. That's in contrast to a super loosey-goosey rocker board, such as a CAPiTA Horrorscope. I went from a CAPiTA Horrorscope to a Salomon Villain, and I noticed a completely different experience when trying to land. So this thing's amazing. Okay, that being said, because I went from a super rocker board to a relatively camber board, it took away a few things, and this will be a segue into the powder section of the video. When you're riding this board, it's stiffer, it's camber, it has more pop. So what does that mean? That means it takes away your ability to flex, butter, lean back, do your thing. Like, shouts out to Fat Joe, by the way. When I was on a CAPiTA Horrorscope, it was like every single rail trick, every single board slide, every single 5-0, every single like nose press, it's just automatic. Like you automatically have a press built into every time. So if that's what you're looking for, I would say just get a rocker board. However, with a rocker board, you're going to end up landing backseat a lot because of the design of the board. It's just not going to hold as tight on the landing. So you really got to stomp your landing to stomp your landing, if that makes sense. And so that's sort of the section of rocker versus camber, villain versus a horoscope, where we're focusing on the park and piste section. So if you're having a spring day at Mammoth or just any other winter day in the Midwest on the tow ropes, or even, urban, this board is amazing. You'll see this in like every pro part for Adidas and Salomon and all of those guys that are ripping it right now. Okay, now put that to the side. Now we're gonna focus on powder. For this board in particular, I would never take this out in a powder day. I don't even have a powder board or a springboard for that matter, but I would rather just not ride and go get a buddy's board or rent, I don't know, powder skis or something on a powder day, because unless you set the bindings way back, and even if you do set the bindings way back, you're not gonna have a good time. You're gonna have a bad time. If you see that it's dumping powder, especially if you're on the Pacific Rim where it's super heavy powder, Mammoth, Reno, freaking Japan, anywhere where it's a heavy coastal temperate powder, I would just not ride this. I would make sure I get a springboard that's wider, that's gonna have less displacement. Maybe you can get away with this in the Rockies. I don't know. I'll test it out. I'll get back to you guys on that one. So check out my next video. Free plug. But still, that being said, like, just I would not take it out on a powder day. So when it comes to park and piste, I would give this thing probably like a 8.8 out of 10, maybe even pushing a 9.2 out of 10. It's that fun. It's amazing. The price point is a little pricey. I think the 2019 was over 500. But if you can afford to have it in your quiver, 100% add it to your quiver. By the same token, on a powder day, if you can get a $200 springboard or even a old rocker CAPiTA or some other rocker board, doesn't matter what brand, but get a rocker board for powder days, you're gonna have a much better time. So heed my advice. I would say moral of the story is this board is amazing. The Salomon Villain is an amazing board, but basically get a camber board in your quiver and a rocker board in your quiver, and then also if you can in between a spring or a powder board in your quiver. And if you can do that, then you're set for basically all conditions. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. On the road to 100K. Hit your boy up on Instagram. Slide into the DMs if you have any questions. I'm always here to help you out, and drop a comment below. Peace. Shouts out 612 Minnesota. Yeah.